going to show you exactly what it's like to drive the new generation Porsche GT3RS. This is dubbed the 991.2 generation, a mid-cycle refresh of the 991 platform. Now, with the 992 Carrera being released, eventually we will see a GT3 and GT3RS version of that. Some differences between the 991.2 and the 991.1. We've got slats angled outwards in the front bumper, makes it look a little bit lower in the front. We also have the presence of these NACA ducts. These are aerospace technology that allow airflow to pass into the vents with limited drag. These are actually used to cool the brakes, funny enough. Let's go ahead and pop the front trunk. Get a look at the key here, shaped like a Porsche. Notice the badge is actually a sticker and not a badge itself to save weight. Go ahead and open this up. Now we can see the path of the NACA ducts from here down into here and into the brakes. You'll notice this hood is entirely made of carbon fiber. Really cool. Now, around the side, we've got two 65mm tires in the front and 325s in the rear for an intense amount of grip. 20-inch wheels in the front, 21s in the rear, and they are center locks. The center locks not only look cool, but in racing, they're easier to take on and off for quick tire and wheel changes. They also save weight, rotating mass over the 5-lug conventional layout, so that is good as well. Brakes are impressive on this thing. Optional carbon ceramics, 16.1 inches in the front and 15.4 in the rear. In the back, we've got different end plates on the wing from the previous generation. A little change in the rear taillights, a bit more angular. These lower bumper vents are also larger as well for better aerodynamics. The rear diffuser has been reshaped. Check out that titanium exhaust. Now, it comes standard with a titanium exhaust. In this case, it actually has been modified, and you will hear it. It sounds absolutely insane. Beautiful GT3RS stickers on the side. Now, let's go ahead and hop into the car, shall we? Unlock using the key. Now, on the inside, we have these beautiful 918 style buckets, which are manually adjustable, not power adjustable. Back and forth from this lever here. Beautiful perforated Alcantara. These things hold you in place like nobody's business. Because this is a Weissach car, we've got the Weissach emblem up here. Now look at the door itself. Tons of carbon fiber and Alcantara. For weight savings, we have these straps. All right, let's hop in, shall we? Now, you'll notice, like all Porsches, the ignition is located on the left-hand side. That is actually because a long time ago in racing, people started on the outside of the car. So in order to do everything efficiently, to put the clutch in, push the car in first gear, and turn it on all at the same time, they had it on the left side so that you could turn the car on with your left hand as you were putting the vehicle into gear. Pretty crazy historical fact there, but that is why they have left it as such, because Porsche cares so much about their racing heritage. Now, the interior of this thing is absolutely stunning. Simple, but stunning. Leather everywhere, contrasted stitching, Alcantara, carbon fiber. These buckets, oh my gosh, do these hold you in place. Over long distances, not the most comfortable seats out there, but for spirited driving, what this thing is all about, and for the track, it is tremendous. We've got a massive, massive tachometer that goes all the way up to 9,000 RPMs. That's right, the red line of this GT3RS is 9,000 RPMs. The speedo is kind of on the side here, not quite as important. We've got other gauges as well, and one digital one here. Now, the infotainment system, got a nice color display, pretty easy to use. Got some hard keys here. Let's go ahead and go home. It's touch screen, so we can click that, get some information about the car. Go ahead and click media. You're likely not going to be using this very much. You're going to be focused right here on the steering wheel. The steering wheel is wrapped in beautiful Alcantara, perfect diameter for spirited driving. Seriously, Porsche kills it with their steering wheels. Notice how simple it is. In today's day and age, you've got Ferrari with every single button under the sun located on the steering wheel itself. Lamborghini is starting to do it as well, but Porsche and McLaren have kept it very simple. All you have is a steering wheel and paddles behind it. Only gearbox available is the Porsche double clutch transmission, the PDK. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Now, let's look at space in the rear. We've got plenty of space, storage space, because there are no rear seats. Weight savings, presumably, but that means you can carry groceries or random things that you need to put in the back. Maybe spare tires. I don't know if they would fit. We've also got fancy Porsche cup holders here that pop out just like that. Look flimsy and very expensive. You notice that because this is a Weissach car, we also have the little Weissach insignia there. Glove box here. Also another little storage space under there. Storage space here as well as right here. But what you really want to know is how this thing drives. So I'm going to show you first person point of view what it's like to drive a GT3 RS. All right, let's fire up the GT3 RS. Ooh, that sounds good. One amazing thing about the GT3 RS is the fact that it has rear axle steering. I'll talk more about how rear axle steering affects performance driving, but it also perfects driving like this, turning around in a tight scenario. So rear axle steering at low speeds, the rear axle turns the wheels slightly in the back in the opposite direction of the front wheels. That actually makes the car more nimble, effectively shortening the wheelbase, which allowed me to make that U-turn that would not have been possible in really any of Porsche's competitors. Pretty cool. Now we've got to go down a slight incline here. We've got the front lift up. This car is able to get in and out of situations that most cars of this nature would be unable to do. All right, put the front nose down. So, like I said, the only transmission available is the Porsche PDK, which made some people angry. They're thinking, well, I want to be able to drive my GT3 RS. Why can't I get it in a manual? Now, Porsche says that's because the manual isn't the quickest way around the track, and the GT3 RS is all about lap times. And with a Nürburgring time of 6 minutes and 56.4 seconds, you really can't argue with what Porsche has to say. Now, at low speed around town driving in normal mode, the PDK is super easy to live with. It shifts smoothly and softly. It gets better fuel economy than a conventional gearbox. It really does feel nice around town. And then we've got PDK Sport Mode, which is going to hold the RPMs higher. Let's go ahead and accelerate. See, it downshifted so quickly there. I was only about halfway on the gas. That's how aggressive this transmission is. It is ready to go. Just the slightest bit on the gas. And then, if I slam the brakes, watch what happens. Automatic downshift. That is super cool. Now, best place to be is in manual mode. Now, the PDK gearbox is telepathic in its shifting ability. I mean, it is incredible. Watch this. I mean, that is as instant as it gets, am I right? All right, let's go ahead and push it. Give you a chance to hear what this thing sounds like before I talk more. Oh man, this thing is awesome. So, behind me, rear engine, 4-liter flat 6, making 520 horsepower and 346 pound-feet of torque. I know what you're thinking, 520 horsepower doesn't sound like a lot, but how does 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds sound? That is really fast, especially for a rear-wheel drive car. And with a Nürburgring time of under 7 minutes, you can't really complain about power. And I'm telling you, when you get behind the wheel of one of these things, the last thing you're thinking is, man, it needs to be faster, because it really doesn't. It's the perfect level of power for the chassis and allows you to really build up confidence with the car. I've driven the GT3RS, and unless you're a professional driver, getting the most out of a 700 horsepower rear-wheel drive car is a daunting task, but this makes anyone behind the wheel feel like a professional. Those seats are holding me in place so well. Lost a little bit of traction there. Now we've got PSM, Porsche Stability Management, which is constantly measuring the direction, the yaw, the speed, any inputs to make sure the car is as stable as can be. And it's an unbelievable confidence booster as it individually applies the brakes to each one of the wheels if you're oversteering or understeering, allowing you to push the car harder than you likely would if you turn traction control all the way off. But what's amazing is how unobtrusive the system really is. It doesn't kick in an aggressive, abrupt manner. It's just kind of there to save you just in case something goes wrong. So speaking of power and money, this car starts at $188,000. In that $200K range, what are its competitors? Well, you have the McLaren 570S, which is an incredible alternative to the Porsche GT3RS. 3.8-liter twin-turbo V8, 564 horsepower, 0 to 60 in sub 3 seconds, and it's super lightweight at a little bit under 3,200 pounds. What the 570S has going for it is the fact that it has beautiful doors. It's a bit more exotic in the sense that it's a McLaren, but it really is lacking sound and passion. It doesn't have that raw feeling to it. It's a bit too smooth, and the sound is just not there. Whereas this, with this flat 6, I mean, the sound is one of the best parts of this car. It's unbelievable. You just you just don't want to let off the gas. Then we've also got rear-wheel drive as well, the $200,000 Lamborghini LP580-2, 5.2-liter V10, 571 horsepower, 0 to 60 in a bit over 3 seconds. That has the Lamborghini aspect of it, so it is exotic. It sounds great with a V10, but honestly, of all 3 cars, this one is the most fun to drive by far. It's also going to be the cheapest, unless you get the Y-Sock package, but if you just stay easy on the options, which you really don't need crazy options on a GT3RS because it's about the driving experience, not the panache, you're gonna save a bit of money on this car as well. And honestly, of those 3, this is the one I'm picking. So let's talk a bit about what makes this car so great. We've got retuned suspension from the last generation, quicker spring rates, and it's actually got softer anti-roll bars, so we've got a little bit more roll to it, but the dampers have been retuned, so it comes together in just, oh my god, an incredible driving experience. The rear wheel steering has been perfected. I mean, the initial turn-in is so razor sharp. It wants to change directions so easily. It is just such a blast. And then coming into a corner, flick some downshifts. Woo! The confidence you get from the brakes too. Wow. Unbelievable. unbelievable. Now let's talk visibility. Visibility is an important thing in a supercar. Out of the front, you've got one of the best seating positions of any car available. The seat fits just right above the ground so that you can see down directly to the road in front of you. You've got these two haunches with the fender vents that look like sights, so you can place the car so easily. This is one of the easiest cars, if not the easiest car, to place on the road in an accurate manner out there. It's unbelievable. So you can see super well out of the front window, also out of the side. The A-pillar is pretty thin, so if you're in an intense corner and you need to look over your shoulder to see ahead of the corner, you can do so with ease. Out the back, yes, you do have a large rear wing, but it actually doesn't block too much visibility. Over your right shoulder, you can see plenty of things. Over your left, it is completely blocked, so that window is a bit intense. Oh, that sound. Ride quality, it rides very, very stiff. We do have an adjustable setting for the suspension here where we can put it into normal mode, but even still, this car rides very hard. So daily drivability is going to be reduced. The McLaren 570S does ride a lot softer than this around town. It still has very limited body roll. It's nowhere near as fast around the track, but it is a more comfortable option, as is something like the Audi R8 V10 Plus or the Lamborghini Huracan. This car, it means business. It rides stiff, that's for damn sure. Well, I have found a straight stretch of empty road, and I think it only makes sense to try launch control. So to activate launch control, it's really easy. You slide the car into drive, let's put PDK in sport, and all you have to do is floor the brake with your left foot and floor the gas with your right foot. Then it revs to 5,000 RPMs and takes off violently. 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. All right, let's do it. Oh yeah, and it sounds amazing while doing it. Oh yeah, I said 5,000 RPMs? What was I talking about? 6,500 RPMs. Holy crap. Let's drive the car in PDK Sport for a little bit to see how the PDK system shifts. Holding the revs. Downshifts for me. Look how high it holds the RPMs. That is incredible. There is no other automatic gearbox that acts this aggressive. There we go. It thought third gear was the right position. There we go. Downshift into second. I'm gonna shift it into manual. Guys, there is no car under 200 grand that's anywhere near as fun to drive as the GT3RS. There really isn't. This is the fastest, the most fun, the best sounding car in its category. Oh! Oh my God, the grip from those 325 rear tires and all of that downforce from the massive rear wing. Oh, it just feels like this car is invincible. All right, guys, well, enough of me. I'm gonna give you pure, unedited GT3RS point of view with that incredible exhaust. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. Let's hear some GT3RS action.